let's jump on to our final topic, where we're gonna discuss Spider-Man
Good
Across
stuff.
the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, racist
Good
Spider-Man.
God,
Bro, I've never seen a team of racist Spider-Man in my life.
bro, have you?
Even Spectacular Spider-Man? Yo, don't worry, Miles. You have to let your family die. Fuck Spectacular Spider-Man.
Just wait till Beyond the Spider-Verse brings us to Spider-Man Lotus World. Just you wait.
Oh,
Just
Oh,
wait.
he's the real mastermind.
I mean, well, there's like a reason like for all this. It's I don't know if we want to get into that first or just talk about the beginning.
Yo, everything spoilers. Whatever comes to your mind, we're going to do like probably 15, 20 minutes on this.
All right. Well, the reason why it felt like with Miguel and Miles it felt like racially charged is because the writers confirmed in the interview that the meta conversation that they're having is Miguel, for whatever reason, is the personification of all the Spider-Man fans that believe Spider-Man should be a certain way, and that Miles shouldn't have existed at all since his publication from 2011. That he is not Spider-Man for various reasons, including a certain colored kind.
There's only one reason, right? No, let's be real here.
Damn, they had to use another POC character to
Yeah,
be
that's why he
racist.
was like. Yeah, that's why
That's
people were like, it's
crazy.
kind of. That's what people were like. It's kind of, you know.
It's a little insane.
Yeah, so that's kind of, well, you know, it's like that's kind of, you know, awkward. But I can for some people try to rationalize it is that unfortunately Miguel was like one of the very few choices that would actually be that aggressive and
See, this is where I do not think Miguel is that aggressive.
Yeah.
This is not the Miguel from the comics.
No, not at all.
Ironically, this is breaking canon for that character. This is
Look, I am dead set convinced he's Morlin. I am convinced he's Morlin.
it's Duck
that's
Huck.
where
It's
I
100%
disagree.
Duck Huck. No one's going to tell me otherwise. The story of this Miguel is 100% superior Spider-Man.
I could see that, honestly. Hey, wait,
I was just
Superior
gonna
Spider-Man
say
is
this
coming
is-
back as well, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Dan Slott was the writer and consultant on the script as
True,
well.
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I was
What were
gonna
you trying to
say,
say, Ricardo?
no, I was gonna say that the whole Miguel thing, because they always like to put the two side by sides of Miguel, and I'm team he abused the steroids of that serum because they showed him, right. He has
He's
like
shooting.
Yes,
he's literally
yeah,
shooting. He's shooting
it's-
for over a year
Yeah,
and like fighting like multiverse problems.
yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's still just Miguel just angry that he has to deal with like whatever problems that happens after that.
It's kind of funny, and it's a callback to like in the beginning of the film where he tries to give his origin, but Gwen interrupts him, and then they technically do it again, but he doesn't actually give his origin. You
They-
see him
They
shooting
hate
up.
him. They
Yeah.
hate him.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Because he's Duck Huck. Because you look at that little lair he has where it's all dark and orange and stuff. There's so many Duck Hucks in there.
There's
More than
he has
any other villain. There's like 8 Duck Huck arms. There's the old 60s like looking cartoon Duck
He has
Huck.
the red and
It's
white armor in the
everywhere.
background being made.
Yeah,
Yeah, those references
everywhere.
to the villains is actually pretty funny. With especially where Miles says, "I like video games." One of them was reference to video game man, that enemy from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends TV show, and then the other one is Green Goblin from the Atari video game Spider-Man.
Huh. Yeah,
I like how Genki's playing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
He's a fan. I was like, that UI looks different. It's like, oh crap.
And for me, anyways, like I guess the MVP of this whole situation is Hobie Brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now the Americans want to like the English. Let's come on, you know.
Man,
Hey,
Hobie don't even like the English
I
either.
felt a certain. I felt a
Doesn't
certain.
like the Prime Minister.
I heard that. I felt a certain way when he said he hate the AM and he hates the PM. He hate labels.
I
But
mean,
yeah, with Hobie, it's really interesting because you didn't know like what his deal was, but looking back on it and looking into interviews, um, Hobie was, I guess when they're coming up with a plan to, I guess, isolate Miles, he didn't like that. So going back to when they were first meeting and up to the intervention scene, he was basically warning Miles, like, "Do you really want to do this?" And they're talking about what he wants, and he wants to watch, and Hobby's like, "Well, why don't you just make your own?" And he goes, "But I need to join if I need to make my own." And he goes, "Well, you need to think about what you're fighting for before you enlist." And that's when all this stuff comes up.
That's what I also like about that Hobie thing too, is because after I watched it a second time, you literally see him take pieces while they were discussing that whole situation.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this man just knows. I feel like the people who knows Miles' story already, because it seems like everybody knows in a way who Miles is. So he's like, man, I don't gotta deal with this. It's like, I already know racism when I see it. So
and with interviews from the writers is that throughout this whole deal that Hobie was on Miles' side from the very beginning because they wanted someone to at least be on his side because of what's been happening. Where let's be honest, the Spider Society looked like a cult to me.
Yeah,
And like
it's all curated by Duck Huck. That's why.
Yeah, it's like Miguel was preying on their guilty conscience and telling them that this has to be this way, while one Spider-Man who didn't didn't drink the Kool-Aid, or there's a couple of them, but the one that they're primarily focused on didn't drink the Kool-Aid and said that you have to try. He didn't like that.
So, because that's the biggest thing as well, right? This is very much not a Peter Parker mindset to have.
Yeah.
This whole Spy Society thing, like, obviously, a lot of the ones we focus on aren't actually Peter Parker. Like, you have Miguel O'Hara, you've got Jessica Drew, you've got Gwen Stacy, you've got Peter B. Parker, but he's very much not in line.
You got Spectacular Spider-Man, that loser.
But he's there's a reason why he got cancelled.
Which is interesting because from the first film to the second one, they had to make some altercations. A lot of the characters where they had their universe designation numbers, they had to put extra stuff to it, especially like Peter B. Parker, where in the first film he was from 616. In the second film, he's from 616B.
Yeah. They're
so that's because of the whole MCU thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
which I always find funny. Like, no one gives a crap that he was from 616 or that Miles is the 1610 into the Spider-Verse. No one cared. No one cares now that Miles is still 1610.
Yeah,
but the MCU does it, and everyone like literally shits themselves.
Well, they did it. It's funny because now a couple of them, that's where the designation numbers come. Where like I think it was like the Miles that you're following here, he's from 1610B.
Yeah,
but the movie doesn't state that. It just says 1610.
Which
I
think Beyond the Spider-Verse is clearly going to go into this because they put it in there. And remember, they just recently revealed that they're in communication with Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios with this film as well. So, I mean,
I say it wouldn't surprise me if it is like a B, because when Miguel explains the whole multiverse thing, you have the sacred timeline come up, right? But then it shifts to the web that they're all in. So it's obviously the spiders are their own unique thing in comparison to the one timeline. Like, there's more than one layer to this multiverse.
Yeah, and it's like, especially with like how Miguel is saying that, you have to let things play out, because with him, he did the worst thing out of all of them, like trying to change the timeline. He like self-inserted himself into a variant of himself and changed everything from doing everything, because that version of himself wasn't supposed to, died. He wasn't supposed to be around to change things anymore, which caused.
Well, didn't he say he only replaced him when he died?
Yeah, he saw him get shot.
Yeah, but he was still in the universe changing things when he died, because he was supposed to die. He wasn't supposed to start, still be Spider-Man in that universe and doing all these things.
And that's the reason why he's doing it this way, right? It's a case of like, it's not necessarily hypocritical of him to be doing what he's doing, because he's trying to make it, ignoring my whole thing of I'm pretty certain he's Duck Huck and he's doing this all for a reason, right? Like, him making that mistake and trying to fix everything and make sure it doesn't happen again, is completely justified.
Well,
I will say this though. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
It's like the whole hypocrite thing is kind of crazy because even though the whole spiel of like Miles can't be Spider-Man, even though both universes' Miles canon hasn't been disrupted whatsoever.
Yeah. This is the thing
like
as well.
Miguel is capping.
Yeah. We can get into that with the whole canon thing where turns out at the end of the movie, Earth 42's Spider-Man was a Miles.
Yeah.
So,
which they hinted at into the Spider-Verse. Because when he first meets Peter Parker in that universe, they had the little weird spider sense bit. His background is purple and green.
Yeah.
And the spider also glitches out.
Yeah,
so it's obviously not from...
Yeah, it was... and also across, if you look at the Spot's origin story, you can see that they plucked Spider 42 from Earth 42, and the person it was supposed to bite was Earth 42 Miles. Because you see him in the same, because you didn't know who that was.
We assume it's Earth 42 Miles, right?
Yeah, it was.
Because
he had the double braids, and his hair had like a web.
That's basically him. And that's what essentially happened, and that's where it's kind of weird with when he said that Miles wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man, because it's like kind of a loophole, because the spider bit a Miles, but it wasn't the correct Miles.
Right.
Yeah, that's why he's the anomaly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were really creative in how they telegraph all that and really set like all of it up and took some unexpected turns with it as well. So it's like,
it's not just that. It's they kept doing it in Across the Spider-Verse for the third film, where I don't know how it happens, but with the Spot and Miles, I guess they're psychically linked for some reason. So he knows what the Spot wants to do, which was, kill his father. But in those frames where he's, showing what he's going to do when he gets back, if you, don't tell me I got this, but if you look at the frames, there is a single frame that to make that future happen, or that canon event happen, apparently all of Miguel's forces get their asses clapped by the Spot, and it's on Miles to try and stop him, and then that's when his father is supposedly supposed to die. So that's when it throws like a wrench in his canon events, because you're supposed to let this happen, but you're in it as well, because things are changing.
Just thinking about how because obviously everybody that's listening to this knows the film ends on a cliffhanger with all the Spider people coming back. I'm really interested to see just how it all comes together and like what divide is going to be between the Spider, because clearly not all of them are going to agree with what Miguel's pushing, right?
Japanese Spider-Man, here we come.
Yeah. So you're going to get that Spider-Geddon cover, right?
Oh,
yeah, you're probably going to get it.
Yeah,
I mean, because like even in the some of the ads, they called it the Spider War.
So.
Yeah.
So that's that. It's like going into like all of the animation styles and artwork of this film. It's amazing.
Just quickly, I find it hilarious that Earth 42 looks more like the Ultimate Universe in the 1610 in this movie. Because it's got the same color palette that the original Miles comics had, like the whole that black and the greeny blue and the red. Like,
all of New York just turned into the Bronx. It was crazy.
Exactly.
I think Ricardo, didn't you catch this? Where Earth 42 Miles, he was wearing black Air Forces.
Oh yeah, bro! Beyond the Spider-Verse, gonna drop that. I'm gonna buy it.
Well,
when I saw the color, I was like, buy it.
Well, you're in luck that they are going to release a variant of that color next year.
Yes, I figured. Don't make bank.
But yeah, it's just like I saw with all the art styles stuff. It's really cool, especially with Hobie Brown. Like I think they some of the artists on Twitter, they said like Hobie himself, he took like 3 years. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, he's all at different frame rate. It's like his jacket and the guitar at one frame rate. The rest of him's at another. It's nuts.
Every part of him is a different frame rate, and the way they wanted him to be rendered as this hodgepodge of cutouts
I'll say he's the Sex Pistols. Graphics and logos.
Like, I also want to kind of just bring up like the whole thing with Miles and Gwen's obvious, relationship and how they're pushing that up, because we haven't really talked about
the love triangle between those two and Hobie. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
are you
yeah,
sure? Yeah, okay.
The big one. Apparently, that's important in the film.
I mean, it was clearly cut, right? Like, you can. There's like the bare bones of it there, but
they probably showed it to Amy Pascal and was like, "Look, we got to cut this out." Like, don't show her the finished product.
Bless her.
Yeah,
it's just it's good. I mean, it shows parallels to where like they were basically they are supporting each other from what they're, I guess, feeling, where they had this feeling of isolation, where like Gwen wants to tell her friends and family members that of all these things that are bothering her, from being Spider-Woman to like the only person that she could ever connect to that wasn't Peter was Miles. And you see in her introduction that everywhere she goes, all she sees is Miles. And on the flip side, you see Miles where he's thinking of all his friends that got him because they were Spider people as well, and Gwen. But unlike Gwen, Miles can actually keep coming up with new scenarios and stuff instead of that static picture, because unlike Miles, Gwen isn't an artist, so Miles can keep having all these fantasies about his friends and stuff with the art. So that was actually pretty cool.
That kid's horny on DeviantArt. You just know it.
I mean, seeing all the examples on Twitter.
I've seen. Kid's down bad for the Gwen, I tell you.
What we haven't talked about is, I mean, it's just a small little thing, but Donald Glover coming up as live action.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was
I gasped. I was like, no way.
My theater went freaking nuts. It was crazy.
How did they keep that quiet though? Of
right?
all the things.
I mean, they kept a lot
of this movie is quiet.
They kept a lot of it quiet.
You say that the first trailer literally spoils the entire thing. Everyone's going into this going, I've got no idea what this movie's about. It's like, it's so obvious. He's clearly doing it to like protect his dad.
I mean, because
I can do both. Like that one line tells you the entire plot.
Yeah, but that's to me. I don't think his father's gonna die. I think the mom's gonna die in the.
With the way they were pushing the mom.
You leave Rio out of this.
They're gonna go.
She got done dirty in the comics. You leave her out of this.
Mitch, just come to New York. There's so many of her over here.
I like to breathe. Like, I don't want to go and suffocate in New York.
You go to Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn. They're all here.
Leave Rio.
Oh man. So
wait. So question though, before we try to end this, right? Yeah. Question. All right. The possibilities of Tom Holland and his mighty friends joining.
100%.
Because those are the ones that's like, nah, we gotta save people.
So there's a reason why you only saw Toby and Andrew in this movie.
Yep.
Is they're saving Holland for the next one, and we know there was a live action scene cut from this one. They're saving it for Beyond.
I mean,
what if it was Venom or Morbius?
I mean, look, they said they.
Venom was in the movie, so.
No, well,
Mrs. Chan is, yeah.
Oh, I mean, his universe was in the movie.
I mean,
that might have been the greatest bit of bland acting I've ever seen in my life. That woman did not give a crap, and I loved every second of it.
I do want to bring up though, because they said they removed a live action scene that felt out of place that they shot a while ago. Mm-hmm. Over under on they shot all 3 Spider-Men for No Way Home and 100%. Dropped Miles in there, and then they were like, wait,
100%.
It looks weird. I think they probably would have dropped them into that scene where they're doing the Science Bros stuff. It's like I could see it in there, and they were like, this is awkward. It doesn't work here.
So it won't fit that movie. It would fit this movie.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah. So
let's not turn No Way Home into Space Jam, but we can turn Beyond the Spider-Verse is fine.
I was surprised Ricardo didn't catch that one thing when they're going through his Spider Society, and that it was funny that how the whole thing with Miles and Gwen, and you had like Hobie and Spider-Man India like making fun of the pair because they're acting weird and awkward around each other, and even Gwen was telling them don't be weird. When on the flip side, when he was just trying to understand how things work and asking Spider-Bite all these questions that it was in the trailer, but people didn't catch at first, is that, Gwen webs him away from Spider-Bite as well. So I just thought that was funny with the kind of the kind of hypocrisy that she had. Don't be weird, and then she's being weird.
That's not hypocrisy. That's just kids being awkward.
Well,
bless him. Young love.
Young love. Well, look, it's safe to say everybody here loves the film. The world clearly loves this film. It is, now that you can't review bomb things on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, it's officially beat The Dark Knight for the highest rated comic book movie of all time. So
it's one of the highest rated movies on Letterboxd as well. It's got like a 4.7 or something. Isn't it?
I think it's the highest. I think it's.
Oh, is it the highest? Damn.
Yeah. You're wrong to the Dark Knight fans. You're wrong.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't know a plot hole if it hit them in the face, clearly. So, yeah, it's all there. It's all there. Miles Morales, it's good to see that in just slightly over a decade, the character is in 2 tremendous films, coming to live action. I mean,
video game did great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only 12 years old, but he's going to have a very successful trilogy, first before any of the Justice League has a trilogy. So there's that.
That's not exactly an achievement, though.
I mean, at least he got a trilogy.
I mean, there's that, but let's not gas him up when DC are fading.
Yeah.
Stack him against, someone actually worth talking about.
Man, you got to stack the Justice League against like the Fast franchise.
Man,
they got the Rock back.
I do want to mention this though. Opening night, where the most hardcore fans come, right?
Yeah.
The amount of kids that were there, dressed up as Miles, that is their Spider-Man. Like. They're kids. This is their version of Spider-Man. They grew up on him. And I'm not just talking about kids of color. I'm talking about, like, every kid I saw was dressed up as Miles. And I'm just like, boy, girl, didn't matter what ethnicity. I was like, this is so nice to see. Like,
so you're seeing that, like, Barry Allen, Wally West, and...
Yep.
Like John Stewart, Green Lantern effect all over again.
Yeah, but it was also a confirmation that a lot of people, I guess a lot of the casual crowd didn't understand, because especially when I was watching it on Thursday, people were complaining that it ended on a cliffhanger because they wanted more. And then it's
because not everyone follows the fact that it's actually a 2-parter.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like people were saying, hey, if they wanted to make it a 5-hour movie, I would have sat through it. I just needed
I would have.
That's what my friend told me too. My friend said he would have stayed.
It's already the longest animated movie of all time. Just lean into it. Just go.
Yeah, they said a lot of reactions were like, they made it 5 hours. I would have sat through. Just let me have a bathroom break and I'm good.
Yeah,
bro.
That's for the week. Crazy. That's for the week.
I was cramped up in the theater with blue balls. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, no climax. Just to be continued. I gotta hold it for a whole year. That's crazy.
Well,
but before we go, there's one bit they do in this movie. They never, no one mentions it. There's nothing. Like, there's a bit where Miguel like injects himself in the shoulder or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the serums. That's what I was saying. He was getting buffed with the serums because he's not a regular Spider-Man.
I mean, I know, but it's
he was Morbin, bro. He was Morbin.
Yeah, it's like even the fangs at the start. Like, this is the only time you ever see him doing it. It's just like, well, what's? Like, I know that's part of Miguel in the comics, but they got me to saving that or using that as a twist or something.
Maybe it's going to be one of those things in Beyond the Spider-Verse where he only tells his backstory to Miles, where we get like an understanding of what we're going through.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
that's how they become friends.
Oh, yeah. And they got a big cosmic eldritch horror Spot. No.
I mean,
they literally just turn Spot into Molecule Man. I love it.
Yeah, don't look on Twitter for that, because I saw Eldritch Horror Spot, and you don't want to see that.
See, now you told me not to do it, Tristan. I'm gonna do it.
I saw it this morning, man. I didn't even I was like, all it says is "See you back home, Spider-Man." And I look at it like, oh, it's something I didn't want to see in the morning.
Also, I will say this though: Across the Spider-Verse, how dare they made Ben Reilly ultimate edgy '90s, bro? How much annoyance? I know Parker luck exists, but Ben Reilly has no luck whatsoever. This man's been through hell. He deserves better. I mean, his muscles are pretty cool. Not gonna lie. That's it.
I mean, the three people I've seen cry about the Ben Reilly in this movie, that's just Ben Reilly. Yeah.
Man, no, it's not.
It absolutely is.
That's Ben Reilly now.
Ben Reilly fans gotta realize that he was a '90s edgelord, and that's what you're getting. So,
Ricardo, you say it's Ben Reilly now. Ben Reilly hasn't had character development in like 30 years.
Because Marvel hates Ben Reilly more than Parker.
I mean, it's Ben Reilly. I mean, if you look at it,
he was Peter Parker for like the '90s.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but like the casual crowd now has like they all in their memory they erased Ben Reilly, and now they basically used Miles as the second Spider-Man because that's what it is. Because everyone, I mean, the Ben Reilly fans get mad every time people say the second Spider-Man is cool, and he's like, no, Ben Reilly is the second Spider-Man. Who?
Yeah.
See, there's that, but no one remembers Kane. You know, the better Scarlet Spider.
I remember Kane.
The good Scarlet Spider, right?
I'll never forget Dan Slott just killing him off in the comic and never again. For years.
Oh no, like Slott brought him back.
I know, but it took years.
Didn't he go like fight werewolves in the cartel or some crap or something?
Well, no, that was during his run, and then for some reason.
Oh yeah, when he was in Texas.
Yeah,
which is a good run, by the way. I'm just gonna put that.
Yeah, and like for some reason they just didn't use him for like years, and then Slott brings him back, saying that he was always there during whatever they were doing and during Spider-Man, and people are like, "Oh, okay,
sure, why not?"
It turns out that SpongeBob meme where you point to the background.
Yeah.
Bits of Kane.
He was always there.
Always.